All right, future CPAs, let's get into it. Today, we're hitting two massive topics in your law on contracts journey: object and cause. I know, it sounds like something straight out of a textbook, but trust me, this stuff is so important for the LECPA. And my whole goal here is to make sure this doesn't just get you through the exam, but that it actually sticks in your brain for the long haul. Ready? Let's do this. Okay, let's start with this. I bet you've already made a contract today. Seriously, just think about it for a sec. Did you buy coffee, order something on Foodpanda, maybe book a Grab ride? Yep, every single one of those, that's a contract. And you probably didn't even think twice about it. I mean, that boba tea you bought, that wasn't just a transaction. That was a legit, full-on contract. You promised to pay, they promised to give you the drink. And that simple, everyday thing, it's the perfect way for us to break down the legal stuff behind it all. So here's the cool part. Every single contract, and I mean every contract, from a giant multi-million peso deal between corporations all the way down to you adding to cart on Shopee, they're all built from the same basic blueprint. They all need the same essential ingredients to work. And today we're going to look at exactly what those are. And here they are, the three magic ingredients for any contract: consent, object, and cause. You can just remember it as COC. Now, we'll talk about consent another time, but for this session, we are laser focused on the other two, object and cause. And believe me, if you can nail these two, you are giving yourself a huge advantage on the exam. Okay, first up, the object. This one's pretty straightforward. The object is basically the what of the contract. Simple as that. What is this whole deal actually about? Let's go back to that boba tea. In that contract, the object is actually two-sided. For you, the object is the boba tea itself. That's what you want. But for the store, the object for them is your money. See how that works? It's the thing, the right, or the service that each person is getting out of the deal. Easy peasy. So here's where it gets a little tricky, and this is exactly where the LEPCA questions love to hang out. Can anything be the object of a contract? Like, could I make a contract with you to sell you the moon? Or, I don't know, a contract to teach you Jedi mind tricks? Well, the answer is a big fat no. The law has some really important rules about this. And here they are. Think of this as your 3-point object checklist. You absolutely have to know this for the exam. First, it has to be within the commerce of men, which is just a fancy way of saying you can legally own it and trade it. Second, it has to be licit, meaning legal, not against the law or public morals. And third, it has to be determinate. You can't just agree to sell some stuff. It needs to be specific or at least identifiable. These rules are what make contracts fair and actually work. Let's make this super clear with some examples. So, a specific car, totally valid object. But a public plaza or the moon? Nope. Those are outside the commerce of men. They belong to everyone, so you can't sell them. Makes sense, right? Okay, next. Offering your awesome accounting skills. That's a licit service. But a contract to commit a crime? Obviously not licit, so that's a void contract. And finally, determinate. Saying you'll sell 10 sacks of Dinordo rice is specific enough. But saying you'll sell some stuff from your warehouse? Way too vague. The contract would be unenforceable. Okay, we've totally nailed the what. That's the object. Now let's shift gears and talk about the why. Why are you even getting into this agreement in the first place? That, my friends, is the cause of the contract. It's the core reason everyone is involved. So the cause is the immediate, essential reason for the contract. Let's bring back our boba tea example. We know the what was the tea and the money, so what's the why? Well, your cause is getting that yummy drink. The store's cause, it's getting your money. Each side has a motivation, a why, and that's the cause. Now, the law gives us 3 different flavors of cause, and you can bet this will pop up on your exam. First, you've got onerous. That's the most common one. It's value for value. You buy a textbook, you get a book, they get money. Simple. Second is remuneratory. This is all about rewarding a past service. Like if someone finds your lost wallet and you give them a reward, that's the cause. And third is gratuitous. This one is just pure generosity. Think of it as a gift, like when you donate to a charity. The cause is just your good heart. Getting these 3 down is crucial. Okay, so we've gone through all the theory, but let's be real, the most important part is how do you get this to actually stick in your brain so you can pull it out on exam day, right? So now let's get to the good stuff, some memory hacks specifically for this. All right, quick recap, rapid fire. Object, that's the what. The 3 rules,
It's got to be in commerce, licit, and determinate. Got it? Good. Cause, that's the why. The 3 types: onerous for value, remuneratory for a reward, and gratuitous for a gift. Go ahead and screenshot this right now. This is your cheat sheet.
Okay, here's the first major memory hack, and this is based on how our brains actually work. We don't remember boring, abstract rules very well. We remember stories and weird connections. So for every rule, I want you to do this. First, link it to something super normal from your day, like buying coffee. Then, link it to something totally crazy and extreme, like selling the sun. That contrast between the normal and the absurd, it creates a super strong mental anchor that makes the rule almost impossible to forget.
And for those 3 types of causes, here's a super simple mnemonic for you. Just remember the letters O-R-G. Onerous, remuneratory, gratuitous. O-R-G. Look, when you're in the middle of a high-pressure exam, your brain isn't going to want to pull up long definitions. But 3 little letters, you can remember that. O-R-G. It's a lifesaver, trust me.
And there you have it, the what and the why, object and cause, totally broken down and ready for you to ace on the LECPA. You literally have the power now to see the hidden legal framework in everything you do. So here's your homework. The very next time you buy something, even if it's just your Netflix subscription or ordering dinner, stop and think. What's the object here? What's the cause? Start doing that and you'll never forget this. All right, good luck with your studies, and I'll catch you on the next one.